Welcome back, everyone, to the W Sports Podcast. We are back and live, back at it. Yes, a day early because it is Easter weekend, so schedules are a little bit different over here. But Jimothy, myself, and the best co-host in the business are back at it again. Tubby, welcome back to the show.
What is up? It's good to be into the baseball swing of things.
It is, and you're over here repping your local minor league baseball. It's always been a great logo.
Oh, yeah. Old school Tulsa Drillers. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that the logo that they have, even the jersey design, it was the epitome of the early mid 2000s, and it is great.
Yeah. I would like to see them kind of go back to this style.
Yeah.
Like I like the new stuff and all, but I like the older, the colors and stuff. I think they're more classic Tulsa Drillers, at least for what we know. I mean, even before that, they were white and red, and they've kind of tried to bring that back a little bit with their retro, or throwback nights or whatever. But yeah, I like these colors better. I would like to see them start go back to these.
Oh yeah, it's a great look. It's a solid one. And Ricky, appreciate you jumping in the chat, man. Welcome back to the show. It's always good to have you with us. So it is baseball season. I don't know if you can tell with my hat. Can you see what's on it? A little bit in the light there.
Not really.
It's an LA.
Oh, I mean, might as well.
Yeah, so it's just a generic LA logo. But, I figured with the Cardinals being completely uncompetitive the last 2 days, why not go ahead and change affiliations in a soft way? So here we are, repping LA.
He's now rooting for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Oh, okay, closer to that for sure. I mean, Mike Trout, did you like that? So opening day, Mike Trout hits a home run. So they're up 1-0, and then in classic fashion, they lose. What was it, 11-3?
Yeah, the only offense they had all game against Corbin Burns. Mike Trout hits the home run. You're like, oh, hey, maybe they'll chase Corbin early. No, all Corbin does is go 6 innings, gives up 2 hits, a home run, and 11 strikeouts or something like that.
He was dealing.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can ask for your first start. It wasn't the best start for Corbin. Going, oh man, I just gave a home run right off the bat. And then he locked in and just completely shut down that Angels lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Angels lineup. How good is it? But still, Mike Trout's in that lineup, and he started with 11 strikeouts, like you said. I saw that, and I was like, well, go ahead and lock up that Cy Young pick. I mean, let's go. He looked good. Yeah. He's gonna get the wins. I mean, that was a great start to the year for the
Yeah, I mean, what better way to pay off your trade than have your guy come in that you just traded for in the offseason? Come in, light it up, 11 strikeouts, most strikeouts ever by an Orioles pitcher on opening day. I mean, first start, oh darn, all I did was break a record.
Yeah. So the other one here's my question for you. Any other big starts, and I'll give you a second to think about it, that stood out to you? I want to say so bad Shane Bieber, because he came out 11 strikeouts. What did he go? 6 innings, only 4 hit ball and a walk. And then I forgot, it was against the A's. So I'm not really as impressed. I mean, it's still impressive, but it's not as impressive as the Corbin Burns one, in my opinion.
But, I mean, are the Angels really that much better than the A's?
That's true.
I mean,
I think they are better.
Yeah, they are better, but is it really, night and day difference? I don't know. I mean, that Angels lineup isn't really much better. At least they do have a Michael Trout in the lineup. And O'Hoppe has a chance to be, good, Shanuel. But, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah, he did against the A's. I mean, Spencer Strider looked great yesterday for the most part.
Yeah, how many cases did he have?
I
don't think he didn't get 11 or anything like that.
No, I'm pretty sure it's around 9. Was it 9 or 10?
He got 8 Ks.
8, yeah.
Looked good.
But that pitch that he has developed this offseason, was it the slider? I think it was. Whew. Man, it's filthy.
Maybe it's a sweeper or something like that, because he already had the slider last year.
Yeah, he developed some new pitch. I'm not exactly sure. Or maybe he just refined the pitch or something like that. But it was he showcased it during the spring, and during the spring it was untouchable. And they showed the layover, his fastball and this pitch, and coming in exact same plane, exact same arm angle, looks the same pitch, and all of a sudden that other pitch, it just drops off the table, and you're just like, yeah, MLB's in trouble.
Yeah,
the guy already was was already the strikeout king in the last few years, and now he develops a pitch that to complement the fastball. Yeah, teams are in some major trouble there.
Yeah, some of the other ones that happened this on opening day or the first 2 days. I mean, it's Saturday as we're recording this. We're a day ahead of schedule now. So again, for those who are joining us, appreciate you joining us on an off day. Maybe you're watching this later on. Make sure you comment in the chat. We'll respond. Some of the big standouts as the first couple of days have gotten the show on the road. Beautiful weather really across the board. There were a couple of rainouts the first day. I think there were 2 games, but for the most part, even here in Kansas City, compared to last year, that it is night and day difference of what the weather is like. It was like 34 degrees and sleet and some flurries last year. This beautiful day in the 60s. Today, the game is going out there. Beautiful weather too. So also, side note, Royals, big vote coming up in 2 days. It is all, and literally it's 50-50 right now. People are on the fence across the board. And I know we're going to get back into some of the opening day stuff, but the vote coming up, so I've seen stuff all over the city. I've seen stuff all over social media with a lot of people who are obviously from here and sharing stuff from other people because they're torn. One of the guys that goes to my church, he actually was in one of the commercials that was saying yes to it. He said, let's keep, and it was a very pro Chiefs one too, which I think that's the biggest thing. Like they're tied together on this vote. And so that's the hardest part to really, it's not just the downtown stadium. It's how do you help the Chiefs who have won back-to-back Super Bowls, had the best quarterback in the world, best tight end in the world right now. How do you help that team not have the worst facilities in all of football? Their practice facility, I mean, it seems like it's from 2002. It is, dude, it's bad. So all that to be said, I saw some posts that were like, you can't have a ballpark downtown because not enough parking spaces. For the record, Royals aren't selling 40,000 seats in the stadium right now. The stadium will be about 30,000. We already have a place, like a T-Mobile Center is what we call here, Sprint Center, whatever you want to say, just like a BOK in Tulsa. Yeah. It has concerts all the time. Bad Bunny was here this week. People found parking. I'm just saying, people are going to find parking. It's going to be okay. We'll figure this out. But then the one that got me was people were taking pictures of the area around the stadium where it was built back in the 60s. And they're saying, look what the infrastructure looks over there. For the record, it's not downtown. It will not look the same in 50 years. And it just drove me nuts. I was like, this is apples and oranges. We're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And I assume you watched the Cardinals game. Okay, so the first two, the Cardinals, I meant Dodgers. Yeah. We're calling them the Dodgers games now. Neither broadcast has had Cardinal announcers on it, which probably for the better because they just be getting just as mad as I am. But the first game announcers, I think it was the Dodgers crew that was doing it. I'm not sure who it was. It was the Dodger crew.
I don't know. I had to watch it on Bally, so it was the Cardinals.
Yeah, there you go. Well, they were saying how beautiful of a stadium it is. All the amenities around Bricktown. Not Bricktown. I did that last week too. Dadgummit. All the area around Ballpark Village. In St. Louis and how great it is. That's literally all they want to do. People compliment all the time what they did with Atlanta's new ballpark, and that's all they want to do here in Kansas City. So if you're watching this, I just need you to know, I am very biased towards a downtown stadium, which I know not everybody is, but it adds something special. KC Current are playing again today, and there's going to be teal and red and all that stuff all around downtown because it's a home game, and that's where the stadium is.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to try to usher in a new era of baseball for the Royals? I mean, the Royals, the potential they have with the young guys, why wouldn't you want to bring in a new stadium and bring it, get the new young blood hyped up? Because like I said, in the next couple of years, we're talking about a team that could be potentially, AL Central, run the division with the young talent that they have if they reach that potential. So why wouldn't you want to bring in something new for them and, just keep that momentum of the young talent and everything going forward?
Yeah. I'm right to think, there you go.
Yeah.
Of course, you're in a city with the downtown ballpark,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, both ballparks in the state of Oklahoma are downtown. And it's great because if you are just a visitor and you're like, man, what do I want to do? Especially during the summer. You've got so many more options now. You can go, especially if you're baseball fans. And ours are just, single or a double and triple A teams. But it's still a great option. You're downtown trying to figure out something to do in a city that you're not really familiar with, and go, oh man, there's a baseball stadium. Let's go catch a game during the day or even at night. I mean, it gives you, more options if you're there, and it brings in more for the city. I don't understand why people are going to be so upset about it when it's going to bring in more for the city.
There's a lot of history. Obviously, this is one of the oldest stadiums right now in baseball. It was built in the, when the Kansas City Royals essentially became an expansion franchise. And it was one of the first ones, especially weird at that time, that it was built only for baseball. It wasn't a multi-purpose stadium, which most of them were at that time. And so I get that there's so much history, but we grew up with a stadium that was not in downtown, but it was on just the outskirts of downtown area. And I remember when it closed down and how people were like, oh, I'm sad. We're going to see this, stadium go away. And that stupid aluminum bowl is what it felt like. You can make it so loud. It was way too big for a minor league baseball stadium, but then they went downtown and just the atmosphere is so much different now.
Yeah, I mean, they have built apartments and new restaurants and stuff because of the stadium. When it first came down there was a bunch of just like parking areas around. Well, now those parking areas have gone away and they're restaurants, and they're they have apartments behind center field where you can, if you have one of those apartments, you can sit on your terrace and watch every single Drillers game, home game, for free. I mean, you just set out there. I mean, it's a cool experience of what they've been able to do around the BOK or Bank of Oklahoma stadium down there. That they've been able to build it up so much just around the area because of what the it was bringing to the city. And so I think that's a big thing that would happen with the Royals. Yeah, Kauffman Stadium, but it's cool, the fountain and stuff, but it's not really something that they've been able to renovate a whole lot to keep up the the amenities and stuff like that. Bring in a new stadium, build something super nice, and help
smaller.
Smaller. And that's a big thing nowadays. Yeah, I mean, look at the A's. They had 13,000 people at their opening day game. Yeah, it's the A's, but build them smaller. It makes it, if you don't fill it up, it doesn't feel like, oh man, this thing's so empty. It gives those players even more going, oh, it looks like it's, fuller, louder because it's, more enclosed and stuff. Bring in the new stadium. You don't need the old thing. Yeah, it's cool. It's one of the older stadiums. You don't want to see that stuff go away, but it's not like it's one of the older stadiums like Fenway or Dodgers or Wrigley where it holds the nostalgia like those big stadiums.
Yeah, and so those are like 50 years older too, which is at least, which is crazy. So that's a good segue real quick. You mentioned the Oakland A's, at least for now, the Oakland A's. Of those 13,000, not everybody made it into the stadium. So you heard the story about that? So they show up, they tailgate, and a large group of fans, I don't know what the exact number was, I haven't found it yet, but paid attendance was 13,000, but there were many people who did not go into the stands to protest, like sell the team, which again, it's gone. I don't, and that's part of the problem too, is when we get into this little loop about stadiums, and I get like the public funding versus, listen, these billionaires have all the money to pay for the stadium, or you end up like Miami and you guys are just frustrated. I get that. There's a big negative and all the legalities of it. You got to work that out over there. But cities have to understand, if you're not careful, you end up like Oakland and you have lost. How many professional teams have they lost recently?
I mean, well, technically, the Warriors aren't even in Oakland anymore.
Exactly.
Over in San Francisco. Yeah. So you've lost everything.
Yeah. We just struck out 0 for 3. I don't think they have any more.
Yeah.
But
no, those are the ones I can think of.
Yeah, and I just remember the difference when Oklahoma has no major sports teams, and then they get the Thunder. They proved, hey, we can support a team. When they had the Hornets after Hurricane Katrina, and they were here for like a year, they get a team later on of a relocation, and so that helps. I mean, people know who Oklahoma City is, one, because they're doing great in basketball again, but people will recognize what that is outside of the University of Oklahoma and maybe Oklahoma State, baseball and
Yeah.
I guess. But, I just like the importance of it, and just the difference of losing a baseball team and going to, was it Nashville or Salt Lake City? I mean, those cities are asking for a team. They're trying to raise money for this. And I get it. I know that tax dollars are a big deal, but read it. If it needs to be tweaked, already the Royals have said they'll tweak some of the stuff about the downtown stadium. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully,
But,
the next time we record the podcast, it
you-
feels.
Talking about the Royals, I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they just passed a new bill, that got passed to build a new stadium down there for, arena for the basketball team downtown Oklahoma City. And so, I mean, it shows if you put the effort into it, it will reward you. And yeah, basketball is more popular than baseball, but you also got to think about it. I mean, if it's going to build up the city around you and you're going to have more, money coming in because people are going to want to come and see, and they're going to spend their time downtown. They're going to, go to shops and stuff like that. It's going to make it more lucrative for your city. So yeah, why not just pass the bill?
And the biggest part of the property is an old newspaper factory. It's literally built for a newspaper factory. It's a beautiful building. It's glass. It's just like emerald green. It's very pretty. You can see it from the highway interstate, but it will never be used for anything other than and we don't do that anymore. And that's anyway.
Yeah.
Soapbox. I was like Timus. If you're all who are still hanging out, sorry about that. It's happening here in the city. So real quick, any other major pitching performances you saw outside of Miles Michaelis doing Miles Michaelis things after dogging your Dodgers there for a couple of days?
Yeah. He definitely ate those words. He antagonized the beast and poked him a little too much. And Mookie and Shohei and Freeman, they said, no, back off a little bit. We're gonna, hit you around a little bit. I text you. I was like, it was almost like they put a rerun of last year's opening day start for Michaelis, where it was just he could not buy an out. He found every single bat at the top of that order, and it was not a pretty game for him or the Cardinals.
Yeah, right now both Cardinals starting pitchers through 2 days. That's it. Are tied for the bottom 10 in most hits allowed. Just saying, with one start. But I will say, so is Luis Castillo. Yeah. So just saying.
Hey, it happens. It happens. But yeah, no, it's been a rough get go for the Cardinals. But did they expect to start out hot? They do have quite a few guys on. Guys that are projected to be big pieces of that team are hurt. I mean, Sonny Gray would have ended up starting that game instead of Michaelis, and it could have been a different story because Sonny Gray is a better pitcher and doesn't give as many hits and home runs as Michaelis does.
True.
And you do have Newt Barr and Tommy Edmonds. A couple of these bigger guys in the lineup are out, so you are having to go with the Victor Scott and some of these younger guys that haven't had a whole lot of or expected to be a whole lot of impact for the team right off the bat.
Yeah. But you look at the schedule, they get the Dodgers for 4 and 4 days, which is insane. How many other teams are playing 4 and 4 days outside the Dodgers and the Cardinals right now? And then they get the Padres as well on the West Coast. Then they go all the way over to Miami with no travel day, for the record. And the game in San Diego is a 3:10 game. So usually if you don't have a travel day, you at least get the 1 o'clock start time local. This is a 3 o'clock local time Pacific Coast, and then they get to go play not a night game in Miami, but a 3 o'clock Eastern time. That brutal schedule. Okay, you know what? Fine. Oh, I guess that is that one is at home. My bad. Still, only 1 hour difference. And then you get Miami, great pitching, fine. Then you got to go play Philadelphia. Then you get Arizona. But this team, if they're lucky, are going to have 5 wins at the end of that.
Holy smokes! Yeah, that's a rough start to the season.
Do you remember when MLB used to have that couple would make the schedule Can we get them back, because the last 2 years are a little ridiculous?
Yeah, and so that's a rough start to the season. Start out with the Dodgers, then go down Dodgers. Oh, we'll get the Marlins, who have struggled to start the season. Oh, but then we turn around, we get the Phillies.
Yeah, my pick. Whatever.
Gosh.
So, not a whole lot to talk about there. We cannot, if your Dodgers, Mookie Betts, I don't know what he's doing, or what he's eating, or what he's on, but he is hitting everything, already with 3 home runs. A ton of RBIs, hitting the ball like crazy. So is Freddie Freeman. So is Shohei. I mean, there's not really anybody on this. Hernandez had 2 home runs. So this team, just go ahead and give them the ring is what the Dodgers look like right now, because they don't even have their starting pitchers right now.
I mean, freaking Bobby Miller last night was lights out. That's that's the best. You have seen Bobby Miller pitch in the major leagues, and that's what Dodger fans, I think, were hoping we would see, is him take that step forward where he's in that conversation as a legitimate ace. And if he pitches like that all season, yeah, he may throw his name in there and be a dark horse for that Cy Young award the way he pitched last night if he is able to keep that up. But yeah, that Shohei effect has already proven itself with Mookie at the top of the lineup. At first, I was questioning whether or not they made the right move going with Shohei, in the 2-hole instead of the 3-hole, and keeping Freddie behind Betts. Well, obviously they did it right, because Mookie's seen pitches that he probably wouldn't have seen even with Freeman behind him, and it is definitely paying dividends because Mookie Betts is scorching hot right now.
Yeah, and the fact that Will Smith, who in 4 games, I think he has 4 games under his belt, maybe 3, but he has been hitting behind those 3. Yeah. Only has 2 RBIs. Is the only reason why is because they already been hitting themselves home.
Yeah, hasn't come up in that instance where he has to drive in runs. Like last year, he had the most at bats with runners in scoring position last year out of any player in baseball, batting in the 3-hole. And now you take that, and as great as Will Smith is, now you take that and you put Freddie Freeman or Shohei, but right now it's Freeman in that spot where he has runners, guys with like Shohei or Betts in front of him. Gosh, I feel sorry for the rest of baseball.
Yeah. Early, neither of us picked Jose Siri to lead the league in stolen bases. Already got 3 though, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that man, he looks like it's more of an emphasis than it was last year, because that he stole 3rd yesterday. I was watching the game and I was like, okay, he took off first pitch, stole 2nd, 2 pitches later, he's at 3rd. I was like, hey, maybe that's their whole reason behind some of these guys, like Caballero starting up, and he got a stolen base yesterday also. So maybe they're thinking, we'll just run teams out of the building this year.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing you can lose. Go for it.
Yeah. I don't understand why more teams don't. With the way the rules are now, I'm sending guys. I mean, Freddie Freeman led the Dodgers in stolen bases last year.
That'd be like Paul Goldschmidt's lead. It just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, no. And yeah, right. I mean, come on, Mookie. We got some faster guys. I know James Outman's faster than Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. Oh, you kidding me? Sean Murphy's on the IL? I think I just
that. Yeah, you see that happened like right after the game.
This is great. Yeah, so Mookie needs to go and get some stolen bases because I'm playing you right now in fantasy baseball. This is a nice week long, and I am up 6-4 in this cat league.
You are, yeah.
See how it goes. You had some a little different pitching starts.
Yeah, I had a couple guys get beat up early on the start off the season, but I mean, it's been. I will say I have one giant gripe for the start of the season, and it's the marketing by the MLB has just been. I mean, we know it's terrible, but I feel like the start of this season, I don't know if it's more I just recognize it is way worse than it has been, because you are having to basically scratch and fight to find the games. It's not like I would think that the start of the season, opening day, Thursday, Friday. I get Thursday, opening day. There was a couple of games that probably were going to be on TV that got pushed because of the rain. But I don't understand why, yesterday there's not just games readily available for you like ESPN. How are there not games on ESPN like early throughout the day on those first 2 or 3 days of the season to try to push the game more? Because, like I said, you can catch maybe one game. You catch one game on MLB Network, and then it goes to their night thing where they may have a game on. I mean, you have to watch Apple TV last night to watch the Dodgers-Cardinals game. I mean, come on. You're trying to get more people into the game of baseball, but baseball, you are doing such a horrible job at promoting the game, especially early on in the season. Push it harder. I mean, get us games on ESPN. Get us games on Fox during the day. How hard is that to do when, I mean, oh, darn, someone's going to miss Judge Judy. for a day. Come on.
How dare you? No. I think that makes sense. Also, that should be the clip that you used for the video short for this or whatever. And just someone misjudged you. But I remember all the time, I hate the Cubs, but they would be on TV all the time growing up because, one, they played a lot of day games, but two, they were on WGN, and like everybody got WGN if you had any kind of satellite or cable or anything, and you just watched a ton of baseball that way. Even if I hated the team, I was going to watch baseball. I think you're 100% right on that. This did feel kind of like it fell flat. I don't know if it did it sneak up on MLB that, hey, opening day is here. I just think there should be a bigger deal about. I'm 100% right with you. The Mike Trout promo video that they had that was on like YouTube and all that kind of stuff. That was decent. It was good. I mean, if you're going to have someone do it, Mike Trout makes sense. But people forget Mike Trout because he plays for the Angels.
Yeah. I mean, how do you not have Aaron Judge or Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, someone that is so prevalent in the game? Yeah, we all know Mike Trout, but no one pays attention to the Angels because the Angels are a bottom tier team. Put those big guys out there. Like I said, Aaron Judge is he's up there with Shohei Ohtani as the most recognizable player in baseball right now. How do you not have him do the promo for you? Because I'm sure there would have been
probably took the under that he wouldn't show up for it. So
no, I mean, I'm not saying Shohei. I'm saying use Judge as the promo because you would have to have a translator. It would be tough for Shohei, but I mean, Judge, like you said, Judge is one of the most, like you said, he's up there with Shohei as one of the most recognizable players in baseball. Yeah. So how do you not have that guy do the promo for you? Because I guarantee it would have got a lot more eyeballs than someone that plays for the Angels, even if it is Mike Trout.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm right there with you. Any other big takeaways you've had so far from opening weekend so far? I mean, the Astros look rough. Their bullpen not looking good. Yeah, that bullpen looks rough. We have the umpires are in spring training form still. So the strike zones, and then did you see the play with the Rangers, the foul ball that they didn't call? Yeah, so it's top of the ninth, game's tied. This opening night, game tied. I can't remember who's even up at bat. It's some guy that's starting for the Cubs that probably won't be starting the next couple weeks. But he swings. It looks like a check swing, and the ball gets away from Jonah Heim. And you're like, oh. And Jonah's looking at the ump, and he's like, it's foul ball. Well, you got Michael Busch on second base, and he books it over to third. Heim's just walking to the ball. Jose Leclerc's still standing on the mound, and Busch recognizes no one's at home, so I'm going to take off. Well, Heim, he's yelling at the ump, it's a foul ball, it's a foul ball. And Busch slides in safe. They go up one run. And they show the replay. It was clearly a foul ball. I think it's one of those plays that may have been tough for the umpire to see because it did just skim across the top of the bat, but it changed direction. And Jonah Heim was like adamant, like that's a foul ball. So they end up going down one run, top of the ninth, and you're like, this is how the Rangers, World Series, first game, you're celebrating. Luckily for them, Jankowski comes up in the bottom of the ninth, hits a home run. He hit one home run all of last year, hits a home run opening day, tapped the game, and ended up winning in extras. But it was, and Jonah Heim ended up walking off the game. So it was kind of like he got back at the ump for the terrible call. But some of these calls have been pretty rough and to early on. They are definitely still in spring training form right now. The umpires are. Yeah, and you never want that. MLB, obviously fix it, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just bad calls. So
I mean, you got a month to ramp up and get yourself into shape. These umpires, and they definitely aren't there. And then, I mean, did you see the end of the Pirates Marlins game? The first game of the season, it goes 12 innings, and somehow the Marlins lose after throwing out runners in the 10th at home and the 10th, 11th, and 12th inning. You still find a way to lose that game when you throw out the go ahead run 3 innings in a row in extra innings and still find a way to lose that game. I think it's kind of maybe the epitome of what's going to be the Marlins season this year. But yeah, I'm like, you have to win that game, especially with the new rules. The extra inning rules. Runner starts on second. I don't know how it's so hard for teams to find a way to score a run in extra innings.
Yeah.
Small ball, you can score a run quick. Drop down a bunt, move the guy over to third, hit a sacrifice fly. That's all you got to do. It ain't rocket science. It's not like it's something super hard where you got these guys going up there going, I'm just gonna try to hit this 2-run home run. And teach these guys how to bunt. I don't care who it is. Teach them how to bunt and move the runner over. Give yourself a chance. I get it's the first day of the season, but come on.
Yeah. Well, it's first game of the season. Rockies 13-1 to the. I mean, the NL champs from last year came out storming, and they won both games too so far. But the Rockies look absolutely rough right now. Cannot pitch. I mean, they're not going to home, and Kyle Freeland gave up 10 earned runs.
Yeah,
he's their ace.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about in the preview, where we're like, this is probably the worst pitching rotation in baseball, probably the worst bullpen in baseball, and on par with one of the worst offenses in baseball. This is a recipe for absolutely. I think they are the worst team in baseball right now. As bad as the A's are, at least the A's have some young players that are showing something. Their pitching staff, not so much, but at least the A's have some young guys up this year that could bring some spark to it. The Rockies, there's a good chance that they will be the worst team in baseball.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this then. So Tyler O'Neill, former Cardinal, doing, hit another opening day home run. So was it 5 in a row now? Is that right?
5 in a row.
So you got to love that. So then he's on pace for 162, but he only has 1 through 2 games. So now he's only on pace for 81. Just saying. Yeah. But Mookie Betts is one of those guys we've already mentioned, hit the cover off the ball. But any other of those crazy opening day stat lines that you're already like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and hit the over if you have a chance. If you're a betting person, you're like, they're going to, as I've seen all I need to see about this team.
Oh, man. I don't know. Not a stat line, but I got a great trivia.
Okay.
From opening day. So let's see if I don't know if you've seen this one or not, but so in 2007 final season, Barry Bonds for the Giants. Since then, 17 seasons now. How many different starting left fielders have the Giants started on opening day in left field?
Since 2007, correct?
Since 2007.
What is it? 24, so 17. So I'm
17 seasons. 17.
Are you serious? There's not one dude who's been like, at least. Yeah.
No. Every single opening day since Barry Bonds has retired, the Giants have started a different left fielder on opening day.
So you heard it here, folks. Here first. You heard it here first. Tubby is starting a petition for the Giants to sign the home run king. His word, home run king. To get him back.
He's not my home run king.
Did you say he's not my home run king?
Yeah, he ain't my home run king.
Okay, I mean, he's more than
I'll still take taking Aaron. If you cheated, it's hard for me to give you. I mean, granted, there's no evidence, but you never really got caught. But we all know. All know.
Oh, So, how many career home runs does Mike Trout have?
Career?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to say, has he hit the 400 mark? I don't know. I mean,
he's the one that I think most people would consider, he'll get 600 for sure. He'll get, something like that, 500 for sure. What do you think he has?
I'm going to say, oh, man, I'm trying to think. We'll say 362. I don't know.
Bro, he's 369. That was but that's it. 369, and he's been in the leagues for 13. This dude has not hit 600 home runs.
No.
So
I think we had this discussion, and we're talking like the new number is going to be 400.
400 is so different.
Yeah, I just don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of people hit the 500 mark anymore, just because it just doesn't see as many home runs as we see. It's just not like it was, where you have guys hitting 50 home runs on a regular basis. except for maybe Aaron Judge. But Aaron Judge coming up, he was already somewhat on the older side of things. And that's another thing, is that we don't have these guys that are coming up, super young and just immediately hitting 40 home runs like we used to.
Yeah. So I think I see what you're saying. So if you said 400, it says 400 is the new 500.
Yeah.
500 is the new 700.
Yeah.
How about that, guys? The amount, Bryce Harper, 306.
Yeah.
A guy like Kyle Schwarber, who, yes, he's had a couple injury years, but when you think of people who are going to mash so many home runs a year, 46, 47, 25, 38, the dude has 246.
Yeah. It's just, you look at the numbers and it just doesn't, it's not like it was. I mean, you don't have like an Albert Pujols or an Alex Rodriguez, recently where they started out so young, and they started out so young hitting a lot of home runs. And they didn't have any, really a whole lot of downturn seasons where they were injured. And it's the same thing with Judge. We look at Judge and what he's done the last how many years, but he's been injured. He's, he, like I said, he came up, more on the older side of things, not super old, but, in the mid-20s. So it hurts his chances to ever really get put in that discussion, because he's never going to hit what those guys did. And if Mike Trout would have stayed healthy, Mike Trout definitely probably could have got close to that 600 mark because of the way he was hitting. But now we've got the injuries over the last 8-9 years where he's missing a good portion of the season. Even though he's still hitting 30 home runs, we could be talking about a guy that probably could hit 50 home runs every single year, but he just can't stay on the field.
So we mentioned player stat lines. You got a good trivia question there. Are there any teams that you're like, yep, nope, don't need to see anymore? I know what 2024 is going to look like for this team.
Yeah, there's a few.
All right, go ahead and name them. We literally maybe a game into it for some of these teams, but I gotta know who you already saying. Go ahead, sign it. We're done.
Yeah,
Rockies.
Obviously, you got the Rockies. You got the A's. I think the Angels. You can all throw those in there. I think those are the easy ones. I think the Marlins are a team that they just look so dysfunctional early on. And I get that Yuri Perez and Edward Cabrera, a couple of these guys are hurt, starting pitching wise, but I'm still trying to find out where the offense is going to come from. You've got, statistically, they were projected to be the worst infield defense in baseball. And we've already seen that on display, even though they've thrown a couple guys out at home. But the reason why they threw these guys out at home is because they're throwing the ball all over the infield because they can't hit Josh Bell standing on first.
Yeah.
So I think that's a team. I'm not going to say the Cardinals because I think they got a bad start to the season. I mean, you have to start the season in LA against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're in that discussion just because I think
that one. You tell me another team that I think that's the big problem right now with the Marlins too. I'm going to agree with you on that one. That it just doesn't look promising yet, but their pitching should get better. But all right,
the pitching definitely should get better. But like I said, I'm still trying to figure out where the offense is going to come from with this team. I think the Mets are another team we can throw in there. I mean, you got one hit on opening day. We saw what
and they're losing again today. Right now, the game's on over there, and I can see it 6-2 right now. Bader just getting cooked with a classic fastball at the chin.
Yeah, I mean, you get one hit on opening day, and it's a home run. I mean, which is cool, but you're not facing a team that's super tough right now. I mean, I don't think the Brewers are really that good. Freddie Peralta is one of the more undersung heroes when it comes to pitching. He has a really good pitcher. He has that potential to be, top of the end of rotation guy. What he'll have to do this year, but it's not like you're facing Corbin Burns or, Zach Gallen, one of these absolute lockdown ace pitchers. You're facing the guy that had almost a 4 ERA last year.
Yeah.
So he is hittable. And you can't buy a run. Your pitching is going to stink as long as Kodai Senga is not in that rotation. I think that's a team that's looking at a very, very long year.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say go ahead and give me the Pirates to win the Central at this point. O'Neal Cruz had a great spring. Who cares? But he started off already did well in the opening game this year. And I just think he's the better Cruz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the better Cruz that I trust more right now. Go ahead and put the Diamondbacks, put the Diamondbacks with the Jordan Montgomery signing.
Yeah.
You see that team in the playoffs in a best of 5. Good luck. And that's, I mean, right now, health is big key. The only thing that's going to keep the Dodgers out of a deep playoff run is injuries, right? Is themselves. Just somehow that team looks good. The Phillies, Braves, they're going to be fine. If I'm looking at the AL, I'm going to go ahead and write off the entire AL Central. I'm so bored. I don't care. The Tigers and the White Sox was a 1-0 game, and I understand it's probably pretty brutal, that opening day weather and stuff like that. I didn't look and see what it was, but 1-0 on opening day, 3 hits for the White Sox. So that would be my main thing.
Yeah, no, definitely not a great look for the AL Central. And on top of that, you're the Twins, and Royce Lewis gets a home run right off the bat. You're like, yeah, Royce is here, gets a single next at bat, round second, pulls his quad out already. Game 1, which is it's terrible. I love Royce Lewis. I think Royce Lewis, if he could just stay healthy, the dude is so good. But man, that health, he needs to trade his lower half with someone else because those knees and legs are gone.
Yeah, and it's funny because him hitting a home run only to get hurt is the same thing as the Angels having Trout hit a home run only to lose 11-3. No, that makes sense. I will say the Tigers White Sox game was 2 hours and 3 minutes. Flying.
I mean, Carrick Scooble pitched a pretty good game that game.
That's very true. That's very true.
But you are also playing the White Sox.
Very true. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead. We'll move on. Oh, last thing. Rhys Hoskins. Did you think this slide was dirty?
I didn't.
No, I thought it was fine. Who was crybabying like that? Good Lord.
Yeah, Jeff McNeil threw a fit because he slid in. I mean, it may have been slightly late, but I mean, why is it bad that he's trying to break up a double play? And he did his job because McNeil lost the transfer because he was getting slid into. Yep. When did we come to? I get there's the new rules, sliding into second, you making contact, whatever. But come on, be a man, stand in there, take it, throw the ball.
Yeah,
he barely touched you. He hit your front leg, and you're crying. I love Rhys Hoskins' reaction afterwards too, walking off the field doing the crybaby thing, and then McNeil's out there yelling at him while he's in the dugout. He's still doing the crybaby. Why don't you cry about it? I'm like, that's perfect because, it's exactly what it is. You're crying about nothing. Yeah, like you said, it may have been slightly a slightly late slide, but heck, it's opening day. I'm gonna try to get my guy on base.
Yeah. I didn't think it was dirty. I thought the slide was fine. No big deal there. So just great. Why am I having the hardest time finding this bracket? Why is it not letting me do this?
Oh yeah, the bracket.
I'm trying to get. Oh, there it is. Groups. Sorry, I don't know if I can't find it here. Let's go here.
I'm gonna play off. I'm gonna say one thing real quick. Baseball. You brought it up, the Jordan Montgomery thing. I think with that Jordan Montgomery signing, they have the best rotation in baseball, and it's not close. I mean, you talk Zach Gallen, Merrick Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery now, and Brandon Pfaadt as your 5th starter. I mean, gosh.
Better than the Mariners.
Better than the Mariners. I think because I'm not so sure about the 4-5 guys for the Mariners. We know that Jordan Montgomery can run a team to the World Series. He did it last year. Eduardo Rodriguez was great last year. Fantastic. One of the bright spots for the Tigers last year. We know what Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly are. And we saw Brandon Pfaadt last year be a big reason why the Diamondbacks won. That rotation, at least the top 4, you know for sure locked in, great pitching, and you have the huge upside of Brandon Pfaadt. I think they have the best rotation in baseball with that sign.
Well, that's good. And I'm not going to disagree. I think Jordan Montgomery is great option for them. The Diamondbacks should feel, if you're a fan, very excited about it. Cardinals are going to be 15-25, just like last year. They're going to fire Marmol, and then they need to consider firing the president of operations if he's making the calls on who they're going to go sign in the offseason, because they could have had Jordan Montgomery. They didn't. They could have probably had a guy like Blake Snell. They didn't. Instead, we got Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, who's about to go get shelled tonight against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, just like old times. So, all right. Anyway, we're going to move on to college basketball right now. Our number one team is Rizzo Picks. There are three people who have the Tennessee Volunteers still left as their champion, and they're all in the top 8. So, Rizzo Picks.
Rizzo.
You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. I was like, I'm not sure who that is.
He's the guy that won our giveaway for the jersey when we had 100 subscribers.
Is in the 99.7 percentile, and he still has a max of 1,500. I mean, no one else is even more close. I mean, he should run away with this thing.
Yeah, mine got killed last night with Houston. Freaking Jamal Shed, he plays that game. If he doesn't get hurt, they wash dude. Absolutely blow him out of the water. Shed goes down, but I will say that's one young player that I absolutely love watching play basketball. It's Jamal Shed, because he gives everything on the court. He's not just I'm going to go out there and I'm going to shoot 15 threes and look cool doing it. That guy is a hard-nosed basketball player. Brings me back to like the early 2000s when you got a guy that goes out there and just plays the game as hard as he can because he loves the game. And I think it speaks to the culture that Kelvin Sampson has built there in Houston, because I don't know if you've seen this. It's been going around a lot, recently, but a couple years ago, young player, one of the coaches after a game, terrible call in a game. He shoves a trash can over going into the tunnel, and trash goes everywhere. Walking off the court, Jamal Shed stops, picks up the trash, putting it back in the trash can. I'm like, that right there's the culture guy that you want on your team. And if I was a coach and I could have like any pick of any player in college basketball, I don't care if he's the most dominant, give me 15 Jamal Sheds out there, because I know the guy's going to go out there and give me every ounce that he has. Lead my team, be a great leader on the court. And like I said, it's something we just don't see in basketball anymore, which is a shame, because he probably won't. More than likely, he's not going to make it in the NBA. I hope he does, just at least a bench guy, because, like I said, he brings a culture and a winning culture and to your team. But it's sad to see some of these guys that play like that, who in the early 2000s would have been sought after because of what he does, not just on the court, but what he does in the locker room.
Yeah, and he's one of the, when you talk about the college game today, basketball specifically, I think Kentucky has been a good example of the one and done is not really working for success, ultimate success here in college basketball world now. And he's one of those guys, if you're going to build culture for 3, plus years, he's probably a pretty good one to go after. So I like that. But so if you had to choose today, are you going to watch college basketball or are you going to watch baseball?
Oh, I'm watching baseball.
Okay, I thought it'd be a little close. I love too, even though the Cardinals are getting smoked.
I love college basketball. I love the tournament. It's just not the same as it was for me, back 10 years ago. It's still, I still enjoy it, but I feel like UConn's probably just going to run away with this, like they did last year. They look so dominant right now.
They do.
And people are like, I've seen people griping, complaining, they've had the easiest road to the Elite Eight, and they haven't played anyone. I'm like, it's not the fact that they haven't played anyone. It's just everyone that they played, they've just beat the brakes off them because they are that good. What they have been able to do on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side, I would have so hoped to see a Houston UConn, because they were to me were the two clear top teams in college basketball this year. National championship would have been great. It probably would have been boring for some people because both teams play such hard-nosed defense, and it's something that most people don't enjoy to watch anymore. Me, I enjoy watching a good defensive basketball game. Give me the hard-nosed defense every day over a team shooting 53 pointers and hitting 15 of them. Give me that hard-nosed coach defense, like Brad Underwood for Illinois, another team that's still in it, which I think that game will be a great game. UConn, Illinois, two tough, ready-built teams with those just go-getter coaches, get in your face, yell at you, not afraid to hurt your feeling type guy. Those are the guys I love watching, coach and stuff like that. So Yeah, I'll take the baseball though.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, it's the beginning of the season. I've got to watch the baseball.
Well, beginning of baseball season still marks the beginning of football season. New rule changes, so they're still saying the news all the time. Are you pro this new kickoff rule and with the tackle rule, or are you against?
I'm okay with. I like the new kickoff rule with the way the kickoffs have been they've been trying to push them out of the game, because you don't have the kickoffs anymore. You have guys like Devin Hester who we never know of.
Yeah.
I mean, we never get the Dennis Green yelling at the end of the game because we knew who they were and we let them off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have those moments. Devin Hester taking punt return whenever the Chicago Bears are just getting thrashed all game and they punted Devin Hester. He takes it to the house. They end up winning. You don't get those moments anymore if you push out that game, the kicking game in football. The hip drop rule, I think, is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done so much over the last few years to avoid tackling all this stuff, and now you take another instance out where they brought this part into the game because you push other things out of the game, and now you're pushing that out of the game. You might as well not even play football anymore. It might as well be the Pro Bowl where we're got 7-on-7 out on the field.
No one's watching.
Yeah, because we're not playing football if you can't tackle. Yeah, I get the injury percentage went up whenever this happened. Well, maybe you shouldn't have taken out the stuff before to cause teams to have to go to this tackling, way, because you've already wussified the game of football.
Yeah, and that's my thing is nothing. They'll keep doing stuff like this until the money stops or slows down. Money has been going up, and once the money slows down or it starts to, they don't get the return that they want. You know what they're going to do? They're going to start redoing some of these rules to where you can hit again, and they're going to be like, "We brought football back." I'm just calling it now, like 20 years, 10 years, 2 years, whatever it takes. That will be how they continue to survive. Otherwise, you're going to become, unfortunate like baseball, and they'll get to a point where the game is so stagnant that people literally stop watching. And you had to make massive changes to make people want to come back and watch the game. And that baseball has done that, and that we've seen it get better. Limiting shifting and, the please let us steal bases again. That kind of stuff has helped because they had made it all but obsolete. So,
yeah. And the thing is like all the players are against this. All the players are like, why?
Who were hurt previously on the very similar.
Yeah.
But you could have gotten hurt on any play.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is like the one hit all the players want out of the game is, a couple of years ago the target went from up here to down here, and now hit them at the knees, and the players are like, no, we'd much rather someone try to hit me in the head, hit me in the chest instead of hit me in the knees because I can't protect myself down there.
Yeah,
and you leave that in the game, but you take away the hip drop because he may fall on the guy's ankle. Okay, I would much rather someone potentially fall on my ankle than have a guy coming, 20 miles downhill. I'm in the air trying to catch the football, and the guy hits me in my knee and blows out my knee. We've seen it how many times since this rule is coming into football, and the players are like, this is ridiculous. This is the part of the game we want out. We'd much rather have a guy come at my head because at least I can kind of brace myself for that. I can't brace the guy coming at me 20 miles an hour with this helmet right at my knee. How do I brace myself? We've seen multiple guys just this last year, big name guys. TJ Hawkinson happened to him, takes out his knee out, pretty much towards ACL, out for the rest of the season. You've got big name guys that they are so against this. You're about protecting the players, but you don't take out the one hit that all the players want out of the game. You take out the one that the injuries went up 20%. Well, yeah, because you took out other things of the game, and this is the only way that they can really tackle that's effective anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all that being said, spring football practices have also started, which is always an exciting time because you get spring games. You get to see, that hyped prospect is going to be playing. You get to watch highlights of that. So any of those key takeaways you're looking at early on, a lot of head coaching changes this last offseason too to be aware of during spring football. The momentum can shift pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I'm all about it. College football, anytime it starts getting ramped up, Tubby's going to get excited because I love me some college football. So yeah, getting on Twitter, right as the first spring practice for Oklahoma, and just seeing all the OU players out there and watching Jackson Arnold spin the football. Yeah, he's throwing routes on air, but man, kids,
He's going to be different.
He is absolutely different the way he throws the football. He's one of those guys where he's throwing a 60-yard pass and it just looks effortless.
Yeah.
And seeing him out there and doing that stuff like that. One big thing I've seen from some of the stuff is that Ohio State, they're still in trouble at quarterback. They haven't figured out the quarterback position because those guys have been – some of the videos I've seen are just absolutely atrocious right now.
We're number 22 or something like that. So what were you expecting? Come on. My favorite quarterback is Sammy Baugh. Okay, sure he is.
They showed one. There's Ohio State has big time, wide receiver recruit, of course, come in, and they show this play where they throw the football and he goes up and catches over the defender, and they're like, "Oh, this kid's so special." And I'm like, "Did you actually watch the clip?" Because one, that secondary, that corner, I don't know what he was doing. Like it should have been a pick all day, and he's like running down the field and he's like tracking the football, and the ball is like 10 yards behind him. And then, so he like tries to stop and make the play, and I'm like, yeah,
built different.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited to watch some spring football. It's spring games are going to be starting in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to see some of this. Like I said, anytime college football is on, I'm gonna watch it. I don't care if it's a spring game or not. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Well, we did have one bit of news. Clemson, like Florida State, crying about the ACC and not being a part of the Big Ten or the SEC. And so they want to sue as well. And they also want to leave the conference. I mean, we're going to just keep having this. I mean, remember when the ACC was the best conference? And I think and I get like now it looks different than it used to because, there's not a Power 4 or Power 5 any. It's like a Super 2 and the other guys.
Yeah.
So I get that it's different. Build a really good program that dominates, that wins in the playoffs, and I don't think you have to worry about this.
Yeah, and like you're the ones that signed the agreement.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you want more money. Why would you agree to the college football playoff payout the way you did, where you're taking a significant amount less than the Big Ten and the SEC? If you want more money, fight for it. Instead of just crying about it and going, "Oh, well, they have our rights until 2036. Well, maybe you shouldn't have signed that contract.
Yeah, it's a long time. You're gonna have to deal with it.
And if you did sign the contract, make sure you have a copy of the contract, and not be the only copy be at the ACC headquarters.
Yeah, they're only open every other second Tuesday of every other month from 1:15 to 1:18. So if you don't get that window, I'm not gonna be able to get a copy.
Yeah, I mean, you did it to yourself. That's all I can say. You did it to yourself. So there's no reason to cry about it now. And like I said, you wanted more money, and then all you did was cop to a terrible, revenue share of the college football playoff, where you're getting like 15-20% less than two other conferences.
It's Power 2. So we're gonna start calling it, or the Super 2.
Yeah, the Super 2. There you go. Because that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, any other news and notes you're looking at before we head on out? Finish up this weekend.
The UFL did start.
Huh? UFL. It did.
It did start today, inaugural. I don't know what came in. It was 11-11. Big game Bob trying to, go back-to-back champs. We'll see. I do have a bone to pick, but I won't say it on air just because I don't know if the guy has the stuff out there, but Bob, you made a mistake.
But what?
Bob made a mistake. I don't want to say it because I don't know if it's out there, but he made a mistake by cutting someone. And we're going to have a talk. I will find you, Bob, and I will talk to you about it.
I'm excited to hear about this. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast. So we appreciate y'all joining us, whether it was on Saturday, a little day early, W podcast action, or maybe you're watching us later on. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for supporting the podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you're doing this. Share it with someone new, because we would love any new fans, any new people to join this conversation about the wide world of sports, because that's what this is all about. So till then, we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.